First on Good Morning El Paso, entire neighborhoods are underwater in Missouri, and it's not over yet. The worst could come today when the Mississippi River reaches its peak. And new developments this morning in the case of the so-called affluenza teenager. His mom arrived back in the U.S. overnight, but the big question now, when will the teen himself be coming back? And a lot of questions remain this morning after a deadly SWAT situation in west central El Paso. We have video of what happened that you'll see only on ABC 7.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso.
People are going to want to know, what were you thinking coming out?
New video just into our newsroom. The mother of the so-called affluenza teenager is back in the U.S. after being deported from Mexico. But it's anyone's guess when her son will be coming back to Texas, where he could find himself back in court. A very good morning, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Denise Olivas. Hillary Florin and Stephanie Valle have the day off. We'll have more on that in just a bit. But first, to storm track weather. That's because so many people have plans to celebrate tonight and throughout the rest of the weekend, that new year. And let's get the latest now with meteorologist Crystal Clay.
Hey, and happy New Year's, everyone. We are looking at New Year's Eve tonight, maybe some celebrations for you. I know the big question is, how cold is it going to be, and will we see any rain or snow? So let's get to the forecast, starting with your temperatures right now. If you've got work to get out of the way before your celebrations this morning, it is a bit cool out there, but not as cold as yesterday. Mid-30s for us at 36 Valley View Middle School and 35 right here in the west side at KVIA Studios, 30 Camino Real Middle School, and 33 at the War Eagles Air Museum. So some of us below freezing in Doña County, as well as in far east part of town where we do see Fabens Elementary School at 31 degrees. Regardless, it's chilly this morning. It will be cool tonight. You'll need those extra layers. In between, though, this afternoon, temperatures actually going to warm up a bit more than we've been seeing. As for cloud coverage, we do have it this morning. We called for it yesterday, our future model indicating that, and still looking at the potential for clouds today, and then that chance of rain and even some snow as we move tonight and more so into tomorrow. So coming up in a few minutes, we'll actually take a look at your future track model for that potential.
And now to round-the-clock coverage from Fabens. Sheriff's deputies say a sports car crashed into a gas meter and it caught fire. It happened around 10 last night at the intersection of 1st and H Avenue. When deputies arrived, they say they found a Ford Mustang fully engulfed in flames. The fire was put out about an hour later. No injuries were reported. A man is dead, another in police custody after a deadly SWAT standoff. This happened on the 200 block of Porfirio Diaz, causing the street in Sunset Heights to be shut down for hours yesterday afternoon. It all started around 11 in the morning when shots were heard coming from a house.
We're met by witnesses advising of shots being fired in the area. They identified a house. They tried to make contact with a person inside it. The person refused to come out, and SWAT officers were called to the scene.
Residents couldn't leave their homes for 7 hours, but one neighbor captured close-up footage our cameras didn't have access to. This is exclusive video given to ABC 7. At one point, you see the suspect coming out and talking on the phone before calmly sitting down.
The officers told us that he was high, off of his mind, didn't even know what was going on. We're a pretty safe neighborhood. This is the first time anything like this has happened, and I don't know if it was them or the drugs doing it.
After this man was taken away in handcuffs, police cleared the house, finding not only a man dead, but 2 other men who, for now, they are only calling them witnesses. At this point, no one has been identified. Developing now, the death toll has risen to 24 in the Midwest, and the flooding isn't over yet. Authorities say most of the deaths are because of people trying to drive through fast-moving water. Hundreds of roads and bridges are closed, including more than 20 miles of I-44. And the worst is yet to come, as forecasters predict that the Mississippi River in St. Louis is expected to crest later today at 13 feet above flood stage. That's 6 feet below the 1993 record. And to more overnight news, there's been a new development in the case of the so-called affluenza teen Ethan Couch. It appeared earlier that he and his mom would be coming back to the U.S., but only his mother, Tanya Couch, is back here in the States.
What were you
Northwest
thinking?
corner of 96th Street and Vicksburg Avenue.
People are going to want to know, what were you thinking coming out?
And this video is new this morning of Tanya Couch arriving back here in the U.S. overnight in the hands of U.S. Marshals. Just hours before Ethan Couch and Tanya were supposed to board a flight for Texas, their attorneys, their hired attorneys, continue to fight their deportation. Ethan is still in Mexico. He is supposed to be in a Texas courtroom on January 19th. That's when prosecutors hope to convince a judge to move his case from the juvenile system into the adult court system, where he could face a harsher punishment. Over the course of several years, dozens of women have accused Bill Cosby of sexual assault or rape. For the first time, charges were filed yesterday. Mary Maloney has the latest.
Mr. Cosby is charged with aggravated indecent assault.
Hours after the announcement, Bill Cosby entered a Pennsylvania courtroom and was charged with 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault. His bail was set at $1 million. Andrea Constant was the first woman to publicly come forward and accuse Cosby of sexual assault. Wednesday's charge stems from a 2005 civil suit filed by Constant. In that deposition, Cosby admitted acquiring prescription Quaaludes to give to women. Cosby said any sex and drug taking were always consensual.
Mr. Cosby urged her to take pills that he provided to her and to drink wine, the effect of which rendered her unable to move or respond to his advances, and he committed aggravated indecent assault upon her.
Some 50-plus women have alleged similar sexual assaults over a period of 4 decades. Attorney Gloria Allred is representing many of those women.
For many of my 29 clients who allege that they are victims of Bill Cosby, seeing him criminally charged and having to face a trial is the best Christmas present that they have ever received.
Cosby's lawyer released a statement saying the charges come as no surprise and are unjustified. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for January 14th. I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
The time now is 6:07. Let's take you outside. A look at traffic right now. I-10 and Anthony, things looking pretty good right now. Hopefully you don't have to go to work today, but if you do, the street's looking pretty clear right now, especially on I-10. I-10 and Vinton, a little dark there, but you can just still see the few headlights that are passing through I-10. Well, still to come on Good Morning El Paso, many people may have lost power during the winter storm over the weekend. When we come back, we will get a ride-along with the men who braved the weather to get the electricity back up and running for so many. And later, could this be the light at the end of the tunnel for the California drought? There are some promising signs in the Sierra Nevadas. But first, Storm Track weather meteorologist Crystal Cly has a preview of your weather forecast.
And we're going to take a look at what you can expect if you head out the door today or tonight. Plus, we'll talk about New Year's Day coming up.
It's now 6:08. This is ABC 7, where news comes first.